Hi, academic senate elections are taking place this week at our faculty. And this is a short information video on why you should vote and how to do that, and why it matters that you take part in the electoral process for our faculty senate. I'm representing here our JinoNICE coalition. I'm from the Institute of Political Studies, and I'm going to tell you a bit about how to vote and why. The Senate is very important. It's one of the key bodies at the faculty. It puts matters on agenda of faculty decision-making. It creates and approves rules and legislation at the faculty level. It controls the executive, so the offices and the administration of the faculty, and it distributes student resources, among other things. Most importantly, it also represents the views from different parts of the faculty, which is quite diverse in orientations and in priorities. Now, why should we vote? We should vote because the faculty, as I said, is composed of several institutes. It's fairly diverse in interests. Our Institute of Political Studies is only one of these. And we obviously want our interests and our views to be represented at the faculty level, at the highest decision-making level. Second reason is in the fact that our faculty is now in the middle, or it's coming towards the end of the great project of reconstruction of our main campus, where we will be moving. And we want to make sure that we are well represented at the moments at which we will be starting to settle in the new JinoNICE mini campus. And we want to make sure that faculty pays sufficient attention to the priorities that will be associated with this major infrastructural development. And of course, I mean, also there are diverse fields at the faculty, and there are diverse traditions of study. And we want to make sure that our fields connected with politics and political science are well represented in how the faculty is perceived in the public, so what the overall image of the faculty is, and also internally with regard to faculty politics. And last but not least, senators and the academic senate constitutes a very important connection point, kind of relating central faculty politics and what happens at the institute, at the individual institutes of the faculty and individual study programs. When do you vote and how? All the elections take place online, or the election only takes place online. So it's literally a couple of steps. It's, I think, maybe a 2 minutes thing to take part in the vote. And the vote takes place already now on November 29th and November 30th during the day. So please find these 2 or 3 minutes during this time to take part in this democratic representation process at the faculty level. Now, as I said, I'm representing here the JinoNICE or JinoNICE coalition. The reason why we have this coalition is the following. Historically, we have it has turned out that we tend to share a lot of interests and views with our colleagues at the institutes who also happen to be located historically in JinoNICE, where we will be moving, so just around 1.5 kilometers away from Butovice. And we tend to share a lot of interest with colleagues from these institutes, from the Institute of Area Studies, or IMS, and Institute of Sociological Studies, or ISS. Right? So there is a good reason for this. We have a lot of interest also with regard to the faculty geography. I mean, this is pretty obvious. Different institutes have different priorities, for instance, with regard to allocation of resources to the different buildings of the faculty. So it turns out that we have a lot of shared interest. And moreover, the electoral system at the faculty very strongly favors large student voter bodies. So very strongly, very kind of disproportionately favors institutes or bodies or coalitions that are composed of a large electorate. And in some sense, this coalition represents not only shared views and interests, but also like strategic considerations, because historically it has always we have always been successful in gaining good representation in the Senate when we cooperated with other institutes, and have been unsuccessful when we did not. Whom to vote for? I mean, given that we have this coalition with our other 2 institutes in this kind of Prague 5 region, so in Butovice right now, but from next year or from next semester onwards in JinoNICE, we have set up a scheme in which we try to suggest to the voters what vote to follow. Of course, ultimately, it's always your choice. You ultimately choose each and every one of the individuals you want to vote for, but at the same time, we are making a proposal to the voters in which we say that if you follow this advice, we are maximizing the chances that we are going to get a good representation in the Senate. Now, there are two chambers in the Senate, student chamber and academic chamber. They negotiate and they work together, but they are elected separately. And you have 5 votes. And you have 5 votes for each of these chambers. So you're going to give 5 votes to 5 student candidates, and you're going to give 5 votes to 5 academic staff or academic candidates. And our proposal is arranged with our partners in the coalition that always members of a particular institute, if they want to work so as to maximize the chances of their own institute to be well represented, our arrangement is that the first 3 votes go to the representatives of their own institute, and then the 4th vote goes to representative of one of the other institutes, and the 5th vote goes to the representatives of the other institute. Now, all these votes have exactly the same value. I mean, there is no order here really, but that's kind of the proposal. If you follow our advice, then when voting for students and you are from IPS, then this would be the proposed group of 5 candidates. If you for the student chamber and for the academic chamber, these are the 5 people that we propose that you vote for for the academic chamber. So as you can see, both these lists include 3 members of the Institute of Political Studies, 1 member of the Institute of Sociological Studies, and 1 member from the Institute of Area Studies. The program is quite simple. I mean, the overarching priority of our coalition is the new campus or the new mini campus. I mean, it's literally a set of 3 buildings. We want to make sure that the faculty pays enough attention to these last stages of the reconstruction, and in particular that it pays attention to the need to make sure that the building becomes, once we move in, becomes really lively, that it becomes a place where we all want to study, learn, and work. We want to meet there. We want to stay there during the days rather than go downtown. We would also like the building to become something like a natural center of our faculty. We will try to make sure that some of the agenda is better represented in JinoNICE. So, for instance, that the Senate itself, for instance, would have some sessions in the JinoNICE campus. It wouldn't always be only in the Holler building in the city center. And that also, I mean, we would like to talk to the faculty administration, making sure that especially agendas relevant for students could be handled there as well, if there is interest from the students in that, of course. There are also other specific agendas that go kind of beyond the overarching JinoNICE project. There are different members of the coalition or different candidates actually focus on some of these. So this is just a collection of some specific points we thought different members of the coalition would want to focus on. One has to do with safe and open environment for students as well as for lecturers and the staff. Another focuses on the balance, or sometimes difficult balance, between work, life, and school, right? On how the university can help students kind of successfully navigate these sometimes very treacherous waters. Another focuses on the quality of education, or quality of teaching, and on the need for learning, also not only on the part of students, but also on the part of lecturers and student assistants and all that. So in particular with regard to the didactic skills. The 4th one is concerned with internationalization and integration. And we believe that this is an absolutely essential point. Our faculty is a leader at the university level in internationalization, and we want that to continue and to be strengthened so that the university is truly international in the best sense of the word. And the final point has to do with sustainability and with the fact that we want, especially the new mini campus, which we will live in, to meet high criteria of sustainability. Who are the people who run for? I already showed you the list, the suggested list of candidates, but you can have a detailed look, or you're encouraged to have a detailed look at who is running and what program they are running with at the faculty website, at the faculty academic senate website in particular, where you are going to have a list of all the academics and students as well, with their individual profile. So you can actually check their individual priorities. Of course, this doesn't apply only to students of or to candidates from our coalition. You are free to consider also representatives or candidates from any other institute of the faculty. That's obvious, but you are more than welcome to have a look at our priorities and our individual profiles there in particular. So thanks a lot for your attention. I really wish that we make sure that we are well represented in the future Senate, and that our institute, as well as the entire JinoNICE coalition, will have its say in the future Senate of the faculty.